what would be the reason somebody would come to you versus someone else?
This, the people that we are drawn to or the people that are drawn to us resonate within us. What I mean by that is there's a vibrational connection that you're not even aware of, but for some reason they draw your attention.
Welcome everybody. We're here today in Phoenix, Arizona, today with these fabulous and amazing women to have a conversation between friends. First, we'd like to go through an introduction of each one of us to make sure we all know what we're here, and we'd like to start with Mary Elizabeth.
Hello, 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 my friends. I am Mary Elizabeth, and I am blessed to be amongst friends here because today is the day that we move forward in our trajectory. We all come to this earthly plane with our own personal gifts, and mine just happens to be that I connect to the divine energy. And in that space of time, you will hear that as I speak their mind. So allow yourselves to be open to the conversation you see because there will be much to learn and much to see in the perspectives that come from ME and we, Edna, Wanda, and Omar.
Okay, and I'm Edna. I discovered a couple of years ago that I work with angels and that I channel their energy to help people heal and transform their DNA levels so they can shine their light brightly.
And I'm Wanda. I met Mary Elizabeth and came into this woo-woo life. Then I
That's what it is. You know?
then I met Edna and Omar, and I'm continuing in the woo-woo life. I'm just really enjoying the journey and my own growth, my own spiritual growth, and looking forward to what's ahead in my gifts that are manifesting.
Right. And my name is Omar, and I am married to Edna, our energy healer, and I've been involved in the woo-woo stuff and for a little over a year, and I've come a long way.
You have.
Because I'm an engineer, and so it took a long time. I think it took someone read my card one time a couple years ago, and I think that was the beginning of my journey. And as I support Edna in her endeavors and start to realize that I may have some skills that I'm starting to develop, and we'll see where those go. Mary Elizabeth, what do you think is the main reason? What attracts people, not just to you, because you could be next to another person and they go to the person next to you. What is it that you think causes a person to come to you?
Just as in all areas of our lives, if we think of this, the people that we are drawn to or the people that are drawn to us resonate within us. What I mean by that is there's a vibrational connection that you're not even aware of, but for some reason they draw your attention. They draw your energy, and you become curious to see what that person brings. If you sit in an event, such as Omar is talking about, and there's 100 vendors in the room, if you watch people, you'll see they'll walk around and they'll walk around and they'll walk around. And every time they pass you, they look at you. Every time they pass you, they give you a tentative smile. People who are in these spaces are searching, but it has to feel good to them. It has to feel the possibility. And that all comes from energy. It's just simply a resonance.
Okay.
The person in your work that you like to sit next to, it's because their energy resonates with you.
That's a good example of something like that. People who sit next to you.
Yeah.
Because we were at a show recently with Edna here at Energy, Edna Energetics, and we came across a gentleman who was looking and looking and looking, and he would look and he would go by and look and go, and I'm watching him, and then eventually he came by and told Edna a great story and asked for a session, and so I asked Edna, what do you think? what brings this guy to you? So, Edna, what do you think? We know, I mean, everybody has a different feeling of how people come to you. What is your feeling of why people would come?
Well, what I've been told is that when people come and find me, because there are a lot of people that come through these events, and many of them just pass on by. But the ones that actually stop in front of me, they're like, there was something about your booth or your energy that was calling to me. So, like Mary Elizabeth says, I think it's that frequency, that vibration that attracts them and makes them want to stop and talk.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, like I said, there's lots of people that just go by and they don't acknowledge the booth.
I've seen
But
that.
then there's people that are you just see them, they look at you, and then they just come up to you and they're like, I was drawn to you. So yeah.
I think it's how much you engage with the people.
Okay.
If you see them walking by, I try to say hello, or some of them just ignore you.
Mm-hmm.
But if they catch their eye, or you smile at them and just say, "Hi, how you doing?" Or "Welcome to the show. How you doing?" "Oh, I like your shirt," or just make them feel at ease. I think that they could just keep on walking and walking by, or smile at them, but I think that helps break the ice. Because there is so many vendors and they're trying to look and find, and if they connect, they're looking to connect with the person.
They want to be seen.
Yeah.
And if you make them feel seen.
So people that just sit in their booth and don't engage people are more likely to have them just walk right by. That's just my observation.
Sure, and I see that because I've sat in Mary Elizabeth's booths watching people, and she engages with, and Mary Elizabeth looks at, and I've seen her do her engagement, and it's the simple stuff. You have a beautiful blouse, or you have a beautiful charm, and because she's paying attention to these people more than most people do. Because I can see people who don't pay attention at all, and I can see that they'll just bit. Oh, but you have a beautiful color blouse, and I think that.
Or smile.
Yeah, or smile.
Or I love your hair.
Yeah, yeah.
Or, oh, that's a cool scarf.
And then they may just walk by, but they'll come back, and I was curious about it because I watch people and I watch how they approach Edna here, and I'm looking, and it's got to be something to do not only with how you break the ice with them, but how they're attracted to you, with the energy, with the frequency. So it's interesting because I could see it. I mean, we sit in these booths and for 8 hours a day, twice a week, and we see, and I'm always watching, and I'm going, okay, and I'm trying. I'm a scientist by nature, and I'm always trying to see what is it, the attraction, and I'm trying to make the connection, and because I'm that, and I've gone a long way, I realize, what, it's got to be a frequency thing. It's got to be something with the way these people are, and they're looking for help, and they're lost. A lot of them are lost, and they're just trying to find someone that and I guess in their eyes isn't going to, I don't know, rip them off on some level. They're trying to see if they can see that connection in the eyes.
Can we bring in a different perspective here?
Sure.
From the space of one who reads or one who heals, there is a knowing within themselves of who they can help. There are some people that walk by that we do not even allow Emmy to connect with. Because there is a level they cannot receive what she has to bring.
So the interaction goes both ways, is what you're saying.
Yes.
It's not just about the person looking; it's about the person who's given the service looking in their
looking to see if they're able to achieve that level of frequency. Some are higher, some are lower, and where the reader falls within that spectrum will determine whether or not they can be helpful. Those who are doing what we do in a true means of service will offer it freely if that need be.
Wow, see, that's an interesting side. I never even asked. I never thought about that. It's a two-way communication.
It's a two-way communication.
Through the frequency. I never
But the frequency is both ways.
Yeah. See, that's interesting. I never thought about the fact that Edna's also putting out a frequency to these
like
people.
Edna, you know that when you're doing healing, some people you can't connect to because they're not allowing you to.
Yeah.
Because they have put up a shield, or they have put up a guard, or they're at a frequency that you're too far elevated from that. It's difficult to adjust in your own physicality to be at a level where they can receive.
Wow. See, I never thought about that. It went both ways.
Yeah.
And it is interesting endeavor that, and it makes sense. It makes sense now that I see that side of it. I should pay more attention when I'm looking at people walk by these booths and see, because I don't see energy on that level yet. Someday I may, but I don't see it though. But it's an interesting concept. It goes both ways. Huh.
Well, if you think about it, watch the people around you that are vendors,
Yeah.
and watch how they engage. They don't speak to every single person unless, and we hate to say this, but it is more than not true. Those who are there for their own need tend to, how shall we say, interact with every human being that is in their view.
Because they think they just think
it's a must.
It's a must, and it's a money thing for them, and they don't see that they're not really want to help somebody who really truly is looking for help.
They're not able to come. They're not coming from that space of service.
Yeah.
They're coming from serve me.
Yeah.
And if they can help you in between, then it's a bonus. But there is a shift in the focus.
Okay.
Wanda's always saying to me, well, there goes another free one. Because we have a tendency to give whatever message that is needed, whether we know they're going to sit down or not, because it's a necessity. We're here to help humanity. So it's given. And Emmy will say, well, it would be nice to get paid today.
Yeah.
But in truth, sometimes, just sometimes, you have to give your heart away.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I do. And I see when Edna's doing it, and I'm sitting in, and I could see, because there are people that go by and maybe look at her and maybe stop by and look at what she has to offer and are not interested or swing by or go by. But then I see there are people that come through and she will offer a free angel card reading, and she doesn't do it for everybody. And I'm sensing that she sees the need to do that to certain people. Mm-hmm. Am I mistaken? Because I can see it. Right?
Yeah. There's certain people I connect with, and I'm willing to, connect with their energy and give them a free reading, while there are other people I'm like, this isn't the energy I need or want. And then when I do a lot of healing sessions, and I do give a lot of free healing sessions.
Yeah.
But like Wanda says, we're not getting paid. But at the same time, I know that even though I'm not being paid at this moment, the funds will come in another form or in a different way, in a different manner.
Yeah, so, you're creating the momentum.
Yes, exactly. So it's like I do it because it's service, and I want to help other people, and I want them to shine bright, and I know that somewhere in the universe I will be repaid in some shape or form.
And here's the very interesting thing, one statement that is not made. You're being directed to do what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Trust us. If Emmy could say go away, she would.
Yeah.
But she's being directed.
Yeah.
She has no choice.
Yeah, and I have long conversations about stuff like this in regards to, you sit and you go, well, we haven't made any money today, yada, yada, yada. And she's very quick to tell me, it's not about the money. It's about, I'm supposed to be here to help a person. I don't know who it is. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I needed to be here, because there are times we sign up for a session, a week, and right at the very last minute, because something in her said, there's someone who needs me here today or this weekend, and she'll sign up. So she has I think she has a deep understanding that she has a higher calling, and she pays attention to it, which a lot of people don't pay attention to it, but she pays attention. I got help some person, like this past, not this week, but the week before, it was like there was one person that came in, and I think that person changed the way Edna saw herself.
Exactly.
And
sometimes it's not about the person you're helping, it's about their help for you.
Yeah. And I think it opened up Edna's eyes to her potential on a different level.
She saw herself through their eyes.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what you all need.
Yeah.
But here's one thing you're literally pointing out about your wife, which is important to hear. Mm-hmm. She's following her faith, not her fear.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you follow your faith, the universe responds equally.
Yeah.
And what we mean by faith, we don't mean faith in your religion. We don't mean faith in your financial guru. What we mean is faith in you.
Yeah.
Because you are your own divine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you can trust your own knowing, you have faith in God. You have faith in the universe. You have faith in Source. You could call it Charlie if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You have faith.
Yeah.
And when you allow faith to lead, there's nothing you cannot do to help another human being.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, Wanda, I know that you and I are, we have come a long way.
Yes.
We're still traveling. And I know that there are things, there are things that we still don't understand.
Exactly.
But we're open to it. I know I've looked at some of your artwork and your little totems, and I've told you, and you said that when I look at them, I mean, I get teared-eyed because I could see something in them that probably before I got involved in all this, I couldn't see. So that tells me that my ability to sense things has arisen from when originally, because I could have looked at that picture of a dog and I never said another thing. But when I looked at that picture of the dog in the eyes, it makes me tear because there's something from you that you put into that, some kind of energy, some kind of spirit. And so I think you're probably a lot farther along than I am, but we're going to get there together and figure this out because I think it helps.
Yeah, because I don't, well, until Mary Elizabeth and like you, I know when I draw the pet portraits, most people cry, but the majority of the people that give me the commissions for their, to draw their pet are animals that have passed.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always taken that the reason that they're crying was because they felt they missed their dog or they missed their pet. And Mary Liz was going, no.
Because I don't know the dog.
But that changed this perspective for me because she always tells me, but of course, because
she doesn't believe me.
I don't believe her. But well, I was like, what? I don't know, because then it's something I have to accept about myself that I do have this gift to connect.
Yeah.
So I'm slowly trying to accept the fact that it's what I want. I want to be able to be connected. But it's difficult, like that part of it's difficult for me to acknowledge. Yeah. It's different. I can see it maybe in other people, but to see it in myself is much harder.
Yeah, because when I talk to you about stuff like that, you go, well, coming from you, it's different than coming from Mary Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is silly.
Which is silly.
I know. But because I don't know why. I guess because you didn't know any of those pets.
I didn't know any of those pets.
I don't know them either.
Well, that's true. Well, I figure you do know because of we. That you have all knowing of all things. So
we will concede to the point that is true. But if we are all knowing, then you should believe it.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. And it's hard. I understand because when I started healing, discovering my healing gifts, I would work on Omar's knees because of his arthritis, and he would tell me he would feel about it, but I never believed him. I literally never believed him.
That's absolutely true. And she keeps asking.
Yeah, it's like, because it's like, it's just my husband.
It's Omar. Yeah.
It's my husband,
Hello, I just told you. To me.
Oh.
He married me. He has to be nice to me.
It wasn't until a total stranger that I worked on her knee and it felt better, and she told me that's like, oh my goodness, this is real.
Yeah.
But it had to be a total stranger. It couldn't be somebody that I knew.
Right, because it's the same way. It's like, well, he's your husband. He loves you. So he's just saying that to make you feel better.
Exactly.
To make you, it works.
Exactly, yeah.
So here's where my head just went with that comment. So you're basically saying, whether it's true or not, you're just going to say what you need to say to placate your spouse?
Yeah, absolutely. Someone says that, well, I've been was married for 40 years. So, you know a person after that long, and you definitely don't want to hurt their feelings. Or, if you just say, yeah, that was great. Like Alan used to tell me, that he loved me all the time, or that I looked okay and I'm like, you're just saying that because you love me. Because you can't see you can't see the real thing. Because you just are blinded by the love for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
but he was coming from a point of integrity, is where Amin's going, because you wouldn't tell Omar something because you are about truth.
Yeah, no, I can't
So
lie. No.
you wouldn't just
But
say.
you thought it was okay for him to. Yeah, it's weird.
But
how
see, that's the thought process.
Yeah.
That's the thought process. Well, you don't want to hurt their feelings.
Mhm.
But here's what we will say. No matter where you are, who you're interacting with, integrity is key
Yes.
to standing in the truth of who you were created to be.
That's correct.
So when you are in your integrity, you can find a way to say,
Absolutely.
I love the energy you gave me. I felt your love, but honestly, it's not better.
Yeah.
That's a true statement.
That's a true
Absolutely.
statement, right? And that's a kind way to put that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I appreciate your effort, but I didn't feel it. Because sometimes people don't feel
Yeah.
the healing.
Mhm.
And then a week later, they're like, oh, remember that weird lady who was doing this thing with the energy? It worked.
Yeah.
Today I feel better. But in part, in healing, it's about where you are in your level of resistance.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in messages given. It's about where you are in your level of resistance to receiving.
Yeah.
We have for years, because Mary Elizabeth and Wanda have been friends for years, but we have given messages through to both of them that they are resistant to.
Yeah.
Emmy's been in this process for over 12 years. You want stubborn.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got one. But when you are ready to receive, it all comes from where you believe within yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's all really coming from yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's not like someone just does it to you. You do it to yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the hard part.
Yes.
Because it's like, oh, like when you accept a healing,
Right.
you have to accept the healing. If you say, well, that's not healed, then you won't be healed.
Exactly.
So you have to believe it and know it and feel it.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, oh, okay. Because we're the one who's in control.
Yes.
Besides,
You're the creator.
We're the
You
creator of
are
our own-
co-creating with that divine source energy that is you. We always
Co-creating,
say
yeah.
to each and every one of you, you are God experience a life specifically as you. When you can understand you are the God seed, that's a good way to put that, because when we tell you that you are God, you kind of go into the mind of the religious
Right.
form.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And many of you believe God is outside of you. God is you.
Yeah.
God is your essence. God is your truth. When you can stand in that truth, you can understand that you are in control. So many of you want to control, but when you don't accept that you are in control in creating your life,
Yeah.
see, that's almost an oxymoron.
it's a false.
Yeah.
It's a false
It is.
belief.
It's a false belief.
Think of one, and RME is a control freak. So think of that, but she yet believed that this can't be real. When you're a control freak, it's because you feel out of control.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's a very true statement. A very true statement.
So when you look at yourself and say, well, I need to be controlled, because you feel unseen, you feel unheard,
Yeah.
you feel underappreciated. So you have to control the narrative.
Yeah.
You have to control the look. You have to.
Yeah.
Because you don't, in all honesty, love yourself.
And that's a big step because, and like you just said, mentioned about, the religion part of it, because even in the religion, at least in the Catholic religion, the saying is, you are the church, right? You don't have to go to a brick and mortar church. You are the person is the church. You don't have to go to a brick and mortar.
You're the temple.
You're the temple.
Yeah.
You are the temple.
You are, right?
You are
And
the
you
temple.
don't need to go to a physical church to do that because God says that you are the church.
He lives within you.
He lives within you.
Mhm.
So, and religion plays an important part in everything because we're always in conflict, probably because of what differences that we are. And I always say, well, you know what? If God is who He is and the all power is who He is, then and He made you and you are living your truth and you're developing these skills, He knows what you're doing. He knows your skills. He knows that you have it in you. So there's
I
something.
literally heard, He knows when you are sleeping.
Yeah. He knows when you've been bad or good.
Yeah, don't forget that.
that just sparked pure joy. I'm like, Santa is God.
There you go.
But in truth, yes.
Yeah.
Because what is in all aspects, if you think about that, what is Santa Claus is a mythical representation of love.
Yeah.
To many, God is a mythical representation of love.
Yeah.
Or a
Your
fear, depending
Exactly.
on your
Yeah.
perspective.
Your disbelief is a mythical representation
Yeah.
of love.
Yeah.
It's a level of love. Even hate is a level of love.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh, now I'm very happy. I'm just in. It's Christmas! Yay!
Oh, that's funny. I mean, I was
We'll
in.
change the name of our banner from
Yeah,
me to Santa.
That'll work
we connect
too.
with Santa.
Well, we'll
You know.
strike joy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what we're here to do.
So-
I like the reindeer part.
So I know, we start off with a question, and I love the way the question gets going, and then how things move, and so I think that's really what I'm interested, or we are all interested in having this conversation between friends, developing the question, and all of a sudden it turns left or it turns right, and I think having this relationship, which I think is a very strong relationship with all of us. I'm the only guy in the middle of these three amazing women, and I've learned a lot about me because of that. And it's not been easy.
We feel bad for him.
It's not been
He's
easy.
surrounded.
They are difficult.
It's not been easy, but
I'm sure he has to take a lot of deep sighs. Okay, take a
But
breath.
I want to make sure, and I know they probably do, that I appreciate every single one of them and what they bring to my life. And so I want to thank all of you, and I want to thank all of you out there and for listening in.